Hello, hello, hello. Is my mic on? Yes, it is. All right. So today we're going to have a little conversation about, do current FPS games need a battle royale? So this has been a topic for a few years now. Um it it kind of came back to light around the time. It didn't start with X Defiant, even though that's what you're seeing on screen. It didn't start with X Defiant. It started back when Halo came back out right around like 2020, I believe it was. And there were even rumors that Halo was going to have a battle royale at the time, and those rumors did not come to pass, unfortunately. Well, unfortunately for some, I guess, depending on if you wanted a battle royale or you didn't. But fast forward, you know, X Defiant was play tested and there were alphas and betas. Was good legacy. And then X Defiant finally released in May 2024. And the arguments came back up. Does every game need a battle royale? And you have both sides of it. You got the yes, every current game needs a battle royale, and no, every game doesn't need a battle royale. And because I like data and I like real world examples, I kind of went down each rabbit hole. Specifically, the every game doesn't need a battle royale, because you still have people to this very day who will tell you, no, that's not true. Every game does not need a battle royale. But then here's the problem. What has happened to every single game that does not have a battle royale? They have all died. So then you say that to the people who say every game doesn't need a battle royale, and most of them will counter with something like, oh, it's because not enough people play the game, so the game dies. Right. You see, so the answer to the problem is in your rebuttal. If every game doesn't need a battle royale, and every game without a battle royale dies because not enough people play it, then what does that tell you? It tells you that there isn't enough of a crowd to keep standard multiplayer alive in the current market. Once upon a time, all we had was multiplayer. Whether it was 4v4, 5v5, 6v6. That's all we had, right? We lived in a world devoid of battle royale. So we didn't know any better. So we played what we had. But then battle royale started to become a thing, and it created a new market, right? So now every game that has tried to coexist or even exist without a battle royale has not survived. Halo tried it. Battlefield tried it. Although Battlefield is a special case because they did make a battle royale and then they kind of reverted. But when they reverted away from it is when they died. Still proving my point that they needed a battle royale. Exactly. And that's the point I was going to get to, Legacy. It's 6v6 for a long time provided a certain dopamine, but that's because we only lived in the multiplayer world before battle royales. It's like we only had access to this one stimulant, multiplayer, and then a new stimulant came out, which is battle royale, and we all tried it, and a lot of us realized, oh, this is even better, right? This feels better for us. It doesn't feel better for everybody. So I understand that argument. But so many people, it felt better. And for a lot of other people, they were even willing to just try it. Oh, I want to try this new battle royale thing. I heard it's dope. I heard that's the new thing. So a lot of people were willing to try it. And the more I sat down and I thought about it, basically I came up with one question. And I'll say this for the Call of Duty community, right? Because obviously, like, X Defiant didn't have a battle royale, so I can't ask that community. But I'll ask the Call of Duty community. If they took away Warzone right now, if they took away Resurgence right now, no BR style to the game. Just if Call of Duty starting next year said, hey, We're going to focus all our efforts into making the best Call of Duty multiplayers that we can make. And we're going to sunset Warzone and Resurgence. How many of you, and let's be real right now, how many of you are going to be able to just go back and play 6v6 Call of Duty all year long? How many of you are going to be able to do that? Because I promise you, most of you won't. And you know why? Because we have 6v6 multiplayer right now, and a lot of you don't play it all year round. So if they took away the Warzone option and they took away Resurgence, y'all are lying to yourselves to say that every game doesn't need a battle royale, because you wouldn't play multiplayer all year round. In fact, you know how I know? Because y'all let XDefiant die. You see, it's the same people saying that XDefiant didn't need a BR who also didn't play XDefiant and let it die. XDefiant, after the first season, had like 20,000 concurrent players, which is nothing. It's literally nothing. 20,000 players, it's nothing. A company like Ubisoft, or even an independent company, they cannot financially sustain themselves with a free-to-play game with only 20,000 people. Why? Because from a business, how do they generate money to keep the business afloat? You got to pay the developers. You got to pay upper management. You got to pay the board of investors. You got to pay for the infrastructure fees, your servers, your maintenance, your upgrades. You got to pay for marketing. You got to pay for content. There's so much fees and licensing associated with running a gaming business that if you release a free-to-play game and you only got 20,000 people playing it, it's unsustainable. It's instantly unsustainable. So that's why the XDefiant crowd that loves to sit there and say, no, XDefiant didn't need a BR, Halo didn't need a BR, Battlefield didn't need a BR, then why did all those games die? Why didn't you guys play them enough to support them? You see, you are your own worst enemy. Because the problem is a lot of you just don't want to look in the mirror and say, I'm part of the problem. You want to point the finger at somebody else. You want to be able to tell somebody else, yo, XDefiant died because y'all didn't play it. But you are part of the y'all. Y'all didn't play it. Right. XDefiant had great maps. I said that too. Because I played XDefiant. Like the first 2-3 weeks it came out, I played it. And I instantly said to myself, I said, yo, maps are good. Flow is good. Spawn system's good. Gunplay is good. Graphics are good. But after like 2 weeks, I was like, I'm just kind of running around, shoot, die, respawn, shoot, die, respawn. For me personally, it just became a little too repetitive, right? You know, we're not even going to get into like the one-shot abilities. I've never been about abilities. I've never liked that. But whatever. That's not even the topic of conversation. And then the camos is the other problem, right? So XDefiant is like, okay, it's designed to be a grind. But the problem XDefiant did is they made their camo grind so tedious that, look, the game lasted 6 months. The game came out in May. And then it died in December, right? So 6 months. In 6 months, even the players who stuck around, most of them, because I'm not going to say all of them, but most of the players that stuck around, they couldn't even get the mastery camos because the grind was so tedious that also kills the purpose of the game, right? Like the whole purpose of a mastery camo, of a mastery grind, is that it has to eventually be attainable fast enough where I can show it off in game. If the average game has a yearly life cycle, and 6 months in, I haven't reached mastery, it defeats the purpose of why I'm playing this game. Because why would I want to reach mastery at the end of a game's life cycle when the next game is about to come around the corner? See, that's a problem for me. And no matter how much you hate casuals, you have to understand that in today's market, with so many competitive games available, The fact of the matter is that your game has to cater to a certain casual audience. So every casual has to feel like mastery is attainable even to them, right? Because people live regular lives. Everyone is not a Twitch streamer. Everyone is not a YouTube streamer. Everyone cannot play video games for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's people with real lives. They have 9 to 5 jobs, kids, family, personal issues. There's people who only get to play 1, 2 hours a night, and maybe not even every night. Some people only get to play on weekends because literally their lives are so busy that Monday through Friday is just not feasible. So Saturday and Sunday, they wake up, they're like, yeah, man, I'm gonna grind my favorite video game because this is the only time I have. For that person, the mastery has to be attainable. Otherwise, it discourages them to try. Because imagine, why would they go into a situation knowing from day one, I'm never going to achieve this? So the motivation is automatically cut off on day one. So you know what happens with that person? Once they start playing the game and they already know mastery is unobtainable for me because of my schedule, not because I don't like the game, not because I don't play the game, just because of time. If mastery is not attainable, the minute they start having bad games, they quit. They're going to quit the game, right? And we saw this with Modern Warfare 2022. Modern Warfare 2022, the bad war zone, a lot of people were able to get the mastery camo. And a lot of the tryhards, what up, Locke? A lot of the tryhards instantly said, yo, this camo grind is too easy, bro. Like, anybody can get it. Anybody can get it. But that's the point. That's the point, right? Because games have had to adapt over time because there's a lot more adults who play FPS games now than there were 10, 15 years ago, right? Because we were the kids 10, 15 years ago who now grew up. And now more adults play these games. So that means there are more people with real world 9 to 5 responsibilities that don't have the time that you did when you were a little kid, when your life was just go to school, come home, play video games. Go to school, come home, play video games. That's not the life of the average player anymore, right? So what happens? These companies had to sit there and think, wait a minute, all these adults playing our games, they love our games, and they're even willing to spend money on it, not just for themselves, but even for their kids who are probably playing with them. But they have to be able to feel like they can achieve mastery, right? And so that's why, to me, that was one of the mistakes XDefiant made, on top of the fact of not having a BR, was their multiplayer experience was just not rewarding because it was too time consuming, right? The prize was always too far away for anyone to feasibly achieve it. And so that also killed the game. The reward was too far, and the dopamine was just not there. So yes, COD figured it out a long time ago. You're exactly right. COD figured it out a long time ago. They figured out the magic formula, and it's worked for them. They've always made you feel like you gained something even when you lost. That's the thing about COD, right? Like back in the day, nobody even cared about KD. In fact, most people probably who played COD probably went negative most lobbies, but they had a good time because even though they were going negative, they were still getting something out of every game they played, or most games they played. They got the streaks, the nuke, all that stuff, right? You're exactly correct. COD gave everyone the ability to reach the dopamine, to the ability to reach the purpose of the game. Hey, you don't have to be the best player, but you can still get a nuke. You don't have to be the best player, but you can still get a streak. You don't have to be the best player, but you can still get that gold shiny camo on your gun. Call of Duty figured that out 15 years ago. XDefiant, critical mistake. For you to get the mastery camo, you had to do like 1,000 levels on one weapon. Insanity, bro. Just insanity. Yeah, people stayed in the same lobby. They talk shit. It was just a good time because everyone was getting something. There was an achievement that everyone could get out of the game. So I say that to piggyback off the BR thing. BR created this experience of, even if I'm not the best player, there's a dopamine you get for being the last one standing in a battle royale. And it doesn't matter if it's just 50 players, like in Resurgence, or if it's, 100 plus players, like in Warzone. And you could say that about Fortnite, you could say that about Apex, you could say that about PUBG. There is a feeling and there is something to be said about being the last one standing. And especially if you're a casual. If you're a person who already doesn't have a lot of confidence in playing, and you already kind of convince yourself, oh man, I'm not that good. I know I'm not that good, but I really like this game. And you're the last one standing in a battle royale, that is an unmatchable feeling. It's an unmatchable feeling. And it makes you want to play more. And so when people say every game doesn't need a battle royale, it's like, you guys aren't understanding human psychology. And these companies do. Activision spends a lot of time and money on understanding the psychology of video game players in order to develop their games. There's a reason why Call of Duty has so much like cheese for casuals. The riot shields, the claymores, the being able to hide in a corner, the crouch walking. All of that is by design because it plays into the psychology of, hey man, a player who's not very confident still wants to play our game, and we still have to give them the ability to win. And Call of Duty figured it out. So no matter how much we hate the casual experience, the fact of the matter is that they figured out the dopamine rush that every player gets to experience when they win it's unmatched, right? It's unmatched. And so they had to do it. And so the root argument of, yeah, they track everything. That's the thing. So, that's been a recent revelation, even though we should have known this already, that they've been tracking everything, because literally that's what skill-based matchmaking is. Skill-based matchmaking. They're matchmaking you based on your skill, which means they have to have a way of ranking what your skill is. So they need data for that. I've been known this. Like, despite people saying like, oh, because the Activision patents have come out over the years, and people have always been quick to dismiss them. Like, no, it's a patent. Just because they have it doesn't mean they use it. They're not gonna file those patents to not use it, guys. Like, all those patents about player skills and how much you shoot and how much you move, and people were always quick to dismiss them and say, nah, they're not doing that. They just file those, but that doesn't mean they're using them in the game. Of course they're using them in the game. They filed those patents specifically to develop their algorithm. That's why I'm shocked at the people who are still to this very day saying, oh my God, it's so deceptive. Bro, this is the most algorithm-driven game on the market, Call of Duty. Of course they're using every patent to create stats and matchmake you. Of course they are. Why do you think they drop an event with a specific gun, but then they also put a bundle at the same time? Because they realize, hey man, you don't want to play the game? You could just buy it. You could just buy the gun. And you know what that does? You buy the gun, and then you go into multiplayer to rank it up. And Timmy, who doesn't even know what's new, he sees you with the gun, and he says, oh shit, I could just buy the gun? I don't have to do this event. And now Timmy goes and buys the gun. That's all part of the algorithm. That's literally all part of the algorithm. It's all data. Everything is data. Haven't you think about this? When we're grinding camos, guys, when we're grinding the riot shield, for example, don't you notice they start putting other riot shielders in your lobbies too? When you're grinding shotguns, they start putting other shotgun players in your lobbies too. When you're grinding pistols, they start putting other pistol players in your lobbies too. That's not by accident. That is an algorithm at play looking at the move your actions. They're looking at your loadout. They're looking at your perks. So that's why, like, I'm almost sad that this community is sitting here pretending like I can't believe they have all this data on us. I can't believe that you can't believe it. Of course they have all the data. Haven't you noticed when you go into a lobby and you start running around like crazy, slide canceling, jumping, diving, reverse diving 360? What kind of players do you end up playing? The same people doing what you're doing. You got the sweats running around, sliding, diving, 360, jumping off a window, climbing. You literally start to see like your clone in your lobbies because they take all your data and they're like, oh shit, Legacy and Lock, they're like slide canceling sweats. So let's put them against other slide canceling sweats. Y'all ever notice that? Test it right now. Go into Call of Duty, turn off automatic tac sprint, and just walk around the map. First, like 2-3 games, you're gonna die to a bunch of sweats pushing you. But by like the 4th, 5th game, if you're still just walking around, you're gonna start to notice your enemies are also gonna just be walking around. They're not gonna be sprinting. They're not gonna be tac sprinting. They're not gonna be slide canceling. They're gonna be walking around just like you. Why? Because the algorithm is gonna look at your last 3, 4, 5 games and they're gonna be like, oh shit, he's not running. We got he's playing differently, or someone else is playing under this account. So we gotta put him against other players like him or he's gonna quit. Because remember, everything is about keeping you playing. Everything is about keeping you playing. Yeah, exactly. So you hit diamond. So now you're playing a bunch of players at gold who are about to hit diamond too. And you know why? Because those gold players are looking at you with your diamond guns to keep them motivated to keep playing. See, the algorithm took your data and it took their data and it matched you guys for a reason so that the gold players don't get demotivated to log off. They're like, oh shit, there's a diamond dude in here. He has the gun I want in diamond. Yeah, I gotta stay on another 2 hours and get my gun diamond because he has the gun I want. That's all data. That's all manipulative data. All of it. Every piece of it. Every single piece of it is data. They gather it, they analyze it, it goes into the algorithm, and that's how it matches you. We've been seeing this for years now. This isn't even new. Like, I'm just sad that the community is like, oh my God, how can they do this? I was like, they've been doing this. This is Call of Duty. This is modern Call of Duty. And again, why are they doing that? The main message of this rant. The main message is they have to create an experience that the casual player has to feel like they can achieve. Mastery has to feel achievable to every player, not just the hardcore players. Because if your casual players feel that they cannot achieve something, they will quit. And that's bad for the game. You cannot have your average player feel like, I can't do what those other guys are doing. Yes, it's very manipulative, but this is a business. They're trying to sell video games. They're in the business of selling a video game to make money. They could care less if you have a good time or not. All right? They could care less. So, anyways, to circle back to my point of, does every game need a BR? In the current market, yes, every game needs a BR. Because everyone has to have the feeling of achieving something, which is the win. It's the dopamine. It's the adrenaline rush. It's the I'm the last one standing. So by definition, in this lobby, I'm the best player, right? The casual player has to feel like, in this current lobby, I am the best player because I am the last one standing. And yes, and the eliminations, what the hell word was that? The eliminations also are designed to make them feel like they're doing better than they really are. Legacy, you saw that firsthand last night. You know what I'm talking about. It's to make them feel like they're doing better than they are. Because again, it's just feeding dopamines. Yeah, the finals don't. The wins be feeling earned, but the finals still, you see what the finals did? The finals still gives you the mini burst of gratifications, right? Every time you kill someone, you feel like, okay, boom, I got rid of that player. Every time you team wipe a team, oh, boom, we team wiped them. Now they got to regain. So there's like constant drip feed of dopamine in the finals. So by the time the game ends, if you lose, if you didn't bank the 20,000 to win, you still feel like, damn, we didn't win, but yo, we fought for it though, or we made them fight for it. So there's still a dopamine release there. There's still a feeling of accomplishment there. You still feel like, all right, we lost, but yo, they had to fight. They had to fight us for that win. They didn't just like cruise on us, right? So the finals figured out their own formula. And it's perfect to me. That works. To me, that works. It's like, okay, you don't have to win in the finals to feel like you achieved something. You just gotta play hard the whole time, and you're gonna get something out of it. Obviously, the ultimate goal is to win, of course. But they figured out like, yo, how do we keep people playing even if they're not winning? And that's what every little fight in the finals is about. Keeping people engaged of like, yo, you beat me, but yo, I killed you 8 times. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so touching on this, does every game need a BR? I mean, even that's what I said earlier. MP just needs substance to go as the better streaks to something better. Right, but what do you do better in multiplayer? That's the problem, because multiplayer is it's a mini game. Multiplayer is a mini game. So when you say they need something better, that's what Resurgence becomes. That's what a BR becomes. See, Resurgence is the next step in multiplayer. And then the next step in Resurgence is the BR, because you're playing multiplayer, 6v6, you get streaks, you get nukes, great, right? But like you said, damn, I need something more than this. I've been doing this for a long time. I've just been playing 6v6 for a long time. So what's next? Well, they made Resurgence, right? They made a bigger multiplayer map. They added more players, and they added more teams. So when you really think about it, it's multiplayer, right? Because you die and come back. And you're fighting against other teams, and you're fighting for kills. And except that instead of earning streaks, you just, you buy them or pick them up off loot. But it's multiplayer. That's what Resurgence is. That's why like me personally, I always say Resurgence is just glorified multiplayer, because the something better that you just asked for, that's what Rebirth is. That's what, Fortune's Keep, Vondel, Ashika, Area 99. That's the something better from just playing Nuketown. That's the something better. Okay, you want something better than just my 6 beats their 6 in team deathmatch? Okay, well, what if it's, instead of 2 teams, what if it's 10 teams? And what if the map is bigger? Well, that's Resurgence. They did something better. And then when you play Resurgence and you're like, damn, man, like, it's all just spawn die out here. Spawn die, spawn die. I need something better. That's Warzone. So it's like, hey, instead of 10 teams, what if we did 20 teams and the map is bigger, but you don't come back as easily. So you got to value your life a little more. And that's what Warzone is. It's the next something better from the something better. And that's my point, right? See, because you're proving my point when you say like the problem is MP gets stale and you need something better. Yes, this is why every game needs a version of their battle royale. Because when I say battle royale, I want to be very clear. Battle royale could mean 40 players. It could mean 80 players. It could mean 100 players. Because look at Apex. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Apex is only like 50 players or something? In a big ass map, mind you, but it's only like 50 players. Apex ain't trying to put 100 players out there. Why? Because they still want to create a competitive experience, but they still want the casuals to be able to land in, work their way around the map, loot a little bit, feel comfortable that they survived more than 30 seconds, and, you know, play the game a little bit out before they die. So Apex is like, yo, we're not doing 100 players. We're doing 50 or whatever, and that's it. You know, kind of the same thing with Fortnite. Like, Fortnite is like, yo, we're not doing 100 players. Like, that's not our thing. You know, Warzone, the reason why Warzone has so many players, and the reason why we're going back to this whole, yo, we need 150 players on the map, is because the Warzone brain is the most rotted brain in gaming. Warzone players, they just want a glorified MP experience. Yo, your comment right now, Legacy, embodies the psychology of Call of Duty players. You know, MP just needs substance to go for it. Has to either do better than as far as streaks or do something better. Warzone players want 150 players on the map because they want the feeling of multiplayer. They just don't want it in just 6v6. So they want 150 players so they could run around and say, yo, I killed 40. I killed 50. I killed 60. That's just a multiplayer mindset. It has nothing to do, because look how many players in Warzone will literally be playing pubs and be like, I don't even play for wins. I just play for kill records. By definition, that's multiplayer. That's multiplayer. You don't even care if your team wins fucking hardpoint or TDM. You just want to drop a nuke in multiplayer. You know, you don't care if you win fucking team deathmatch. You just want to drop 60. It's a multiplayer mindset with Call of Duty. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it's ever been. That's why Warzone, Resurgence, Rebirth, all that shit, it is the least battle royale in all of battle royales because it doesn't punish people. You get a million chances to come back. You get a million chances to regain. You get a million chances to win the game. By definition, that's not a battle royale. That's multiplayer. And that's why the COD community is hard to, you know, it's hard to satisfy from a development point of view, because if you think about it, COD players got everything they asked for in Warzone. We want more flares. We want gulag tokens. We want gulag events. You know. Yeah, exactly. In most BRs, when you die, game over. That's how it is in PUBG. That's how it is in almost every other game. You die, game over. Right? Not Warzone. Look at Warzone. Yo, and I'm not even talking about Resurgence. I'm literally talking about Warzone. There's flares everywhere. At one point, you could even buy flares at the buy station. So it's like you are buying your own second chance. You got gulag tokens all over the map. You can buy gulag tokens at the buy. Again, you're buying yourself a second chance. When you go to gulag, when you actually die, there's random second chance gulag events. So literally you could lose in the gulag and instantly get a second chance to fight again to get out. There are so many second chances in Call of Duty Warzone. There's nothing BR about it anymore. That's why the most truest version of BR we had was Verdansk. And not because of the map, but because of the logistics of how the map played. I remember in Verdansk watching the best players, the best teams, and they had to genuinely think a little more about what they were doing because they had to factor cash. Yo, if don't push that team because if you die, we don't got enough money to buy you back. Where now it's like, yo, who got a flare? Oh, I got a flare. All right, bet. I'm gonna push this team. If I die, just flare me back. Oh, I got a gulag token. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna push this team. If I die, I got a second chance gulag. You see what I'm saying? They've made it into multiplayer. Right? And MW2 tried to balance it. They tried. And as crazy as it was, the community threw a fit. But look, fast forward. Infinity Ward, this is going to sound crazy. This is going to sound wild. But when you look back, when you sit back and look at the last 5 years of Warzone, Infinity Ward has actually been the one trying to create balance. They created the Verdansk experience. And then in MW2, remember, they pulled, like you said, they took everything away again. They said, yo, no flares, no token. Like, they pulled back. And everybody threw a tantrum. Why? Because of the multiplayer mindset. People got so used to, nah, man, I want more chances to come back. I want more chances, more chances. I don't want to just spectate. I don't want to just spectate. But that's the problem, is that that's what Resurgence is for. If you're the kind of player that wants to constantly be in the action and constantly come back, that's what Resurgence is for. BR is supposed to be the harder mode. It's supposed to be the mode where if you play stupid, you pay a high price. It's high risk, high reward. Oh, you want to run around the map pushing everybody? Bet. The moment you die, though, your ass is going to sit on that bench and spectate. That's the whole point of Warzone. Resurgence is the opposite. I want to run around the map like crazy. And if I die, I just come back. Bet. That's fine, too. That mode needs to exist. But when both modes are doing the same thing, then we shouldn't even call one Warzone and one Resurgence. They should just be called one mode. It should just be Call of Duty Resurgence. Because they're not different anymore. Yeah, but ranked should be stressful. Because that's the whole point. Ranked is like the pinnacle of the most sweaty, hardcore players are in this mode. If you play this mode, it's like a warning. If you play this mode, you will have to fucking lock in. That's ranked. All right? It's like the seizure warnings you get when you're about to watch certain movies and there's going to be flashing lights. Warning, this shit might cause seizures. Don't watch this if you're susceptible to seizures. Ranked is the same way. Warning, you're going to battle a bunch of fucking tryhards. If you're not ready to try hard yourself, don't play this. So I think we need to keep things into perspective as well, as far as like the modes we're picking. Because for a long time, like I said, we got people playing Warzone and they're mad that it's not playing like Resurgence. Oh man, how come I can't come back? Oh, how come I don't get more chances? Because this isn't Resurgence. Sir, the thing you want is right over there. That's the room next door. That's not this room. That's the room next door. And that's why, fast forward, what happened now in 2024? Everybody's bitching about Warzone. Why? Damn, man, it feels too much like Resurgence. Too many chances. You kill a team, they land right back on you. Final circle. Look at what happens final circle. You're fighting the last two teams. You kill like 6 people. 5 seconds later, they're all landing on top of you. Why? Because they all got flares. You know, they all buying each other back. It defeats the purpose of the battle royale. It defeats the whole fucking purpose. Again, if that's the way you want to play, they already have a mode for that. That's Resurgence. You get to come back over and over and over and over and over again. That's the gauntlet. But please, can we separate Warzone from Resurgence? Because again, we're coming back full circle. Casuals, this is another reason why so many people have been driven off BO6. Yes, the cheaters are out of control and, you know, nobody wants to play against cheaters, but casuals no longer feel like they have a mode that they feel like they have a chance of winning, because everything just feels like Resurgence. Everything just feels like if the casual gets lucky and kills a sweat, 5 seconds later, that sweat is going to get flared back in and go land right on their head and kill them. And that's the problem. The problem is it goes back to how I started this whole live, which is the dopamine experience, the ability to feel like you can achieve mastery of the thing you are playing. And BO6 lost that feeling. And that's why, it's a combination of things why people are leaving. Right. And then you add SBMM on top of the fact of the game is broken and so many other reasons, cheaters, and Warzone doesn't feel like Warzone. It feels like multiplayer resurgence where no matter how many people you kill, everybody keeps coming back. No matter how many times you kill a team, somehow the same team keeps coming back. It starts to demoralize you, especially if you're a lower skilled player. You know what's the best proof I have of this is I remember in Verdansk, right? When we had access to the API where we could see everybody's KD and like their last 30 games played or whatever, I remember watching Tim the Tatman. He used to do the spectating videos, and even Jev, they used to do the spectating videos, and they would put up, their moderators would put up the players' KD that they were spectating, and you would see it. You would see casuals who had like a 0.72 KD, right? But they have played like 1,200 games in Verdansk. And that was like a perfect example of like, hey, here's a guy or a girl who loses more than they wins, right? Because they got a 0.72 KD. So they're dying more than they're getting kills, but they've played 1,200 games. So something about the experience is keeping them there. And then when you look at their wins, they're like, oh, this dude got 150 wins, even though he's played over 1,000 games. But I bet you every single one of those 150 wins out of those 1,200 games felt amazing to that player. Because they probably realized, like, damn, I'm not that good, but I can get a win out here. And that's the feeling I'm after. Knowing that I'm not the best, but I can still get a win out here. That feeling currently doesn't exist in Call of Duty. And that's what's driving so many people away too. Besides the cheaters. And the reason why I say that is because if Call of Duty gets the cheating under control tomorrow, you're still going to drive 25% of the player base away because there's no balance in the game. That's the biggest problem. There's no balance. The casual can't just come in here and say, hey, I want to just play solos because every time I play with my friends, I end up in top 250 lobbies because my friend has a 3 KD, my friend has a 2 KD. So that's why a lot of casuals play solos. If you pay attention to that, if you go on YouTube and Twitch, you'll notice that the more casual players tend to be solo players. It's not because they want to, it's because they know the moment they play with their friends who have a better KD, they have a terrible experience because nothing is balanced. So, but now they can't even play solos because, again, nothing is balanced. They kill a player, that player comes back. Oh, because they had a token. Oh, because they had a second chance gulag. Oh, because now there's a guaranteed, jailbreak. It's like, there's no balance to Warzone right now. It just feels like glorified multiplayer. And so that's what I'm saying, like, Verdansk is not going to fix the game unless they fix the balance. You need to strip away all the bullshit that's been added to Warzone. I'm a firm believer that you got to take away flares. You got to take away tokens. You got to take away the constant jailbreaks. You got to take away those second chance gulag events. You got to take all that shit away from Warzone. Warzone should strictly be contracts so players can constantly get money, and if they need to buy back people, buy back people. Yeah, you've experienced it. You can't play with your friends, your cousins, nobody, because they just be like, yo, I can't play with you, yo. Your lobbies is too much. And that too is what's driven a lot of people away. So I remember Warzone 1. Some of the best times in Warzone 1 was when we didn't have all the bullshit. The flares, the tokens, all the events, all that. Like, just put more buy stations. because, you know, people right now, people can't buy stations because there's only like fucking 5 of them shits on the whole map. Put more buy stations, put more indoor buy stations that are now out in the open getting camped by snipers, and just make it so that there's constant contracts to get money. Like, to me, that's how you balance the game. That's how you recapture the casual experience. And that's also how you're going to have to loosen up SBMM, because right now, the reason why every lobby feels crazy is because there aren't a lot of casuals playing. Right now, it's only the tryhards and the sweats. Yeah, exactly. Like when we all play together, you know how our experience is. We know what we about to get into. We gonna, like, yo, how many times, remember during Modern Warfare 3, because God knows I haven't touched this game recently. During Modern Warfare 3, 9 out of 10 lobbies, what did we see? Iridescent skins. Every lobby. Eerie skins, crimson skins, every lobby. Why? Because we all got like 2 fucking KDs. So who the hell we gonna play it? Clones of ourselves. Bunch of 2 and 3 KD players. Every lobby. All night long. Now imagine you try to go play with your cousins who, you know, who are barely a 1 KD. How do you think their night is gonna go when they're running into eerie skins all night long? Like, it's gonna be fucking miserable. And I feel like if we don't have balance, this is what's gonna kill Verdansk. Everybody, because, yo, think about it. Everyone is literally salivating right now for Verdansk. They got fucking drool coming down the side of their mouths right now, waiting like, yo, when Verdansk drops, we fucking gonna run 14-hour streams, right? So what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen when Verdansk drops and there's no balance and all the sweats are on Verdansk? The moment a casual gets into one of those lobbies and he gets stomped out within fucking 2.5 seconds of landing, they're gonna be like, yo, this game's still broken. I'm not playing this shit. So then you know what's gonna happen with Verdansk? It's gonna be nothing but sweats playing each other. And then you know what they're gonna say? Damn, this shit is sweaty. This shit is sweaty. You know, and then that Squid Game event, it's a cash grab. We already know that. It's a cash grab. And you know how I know? Because look, I'll give you the perfect example. This is another reason why Call of Duty fails. And this is no shots at Swag. I like Swag. This is no shots at him. But I'm just pointing out a reality here. So, hold on. I'm trying to get a screenshot so I can show you guys. You know, so this is Swag's thumbnail for today. It's the Squid Games thing. So again, there's no shots at Swag. I love Swag. Go sub to him if you're not subbed. But it's like, this is just gonna influence people to go buy this, right? So if right now you're trying to tell people, yo, the game is in a bad state and this is a cash grab and this doesn't feel right, you doing this, and I get it, he's doing this because this is his job, right? So he has to promote his content. So like, I understand the business decision of what he's doing. The same way I understand the business decision that Activision is doing. But you have to understand the optics of this too, right? The very thing you're saying is bad, this being a cash grab, you are also promoting it though. That's the thing. Yeah, of course they thought it out, Locke. Of course. It's just another marketing play. Look, Squid Game Season 2 just finished on Netflix. So this was all timed. Hey, as soon as the season is done and everybody watches Squid Games, we gonna drop the Squid Game operators in the events, because then people gonna come play the game and buy the bundles. This is business. This is a business decision. I understand it. I fully understand and I get it. My thing is, the game is in such a bad state, like, all right, we're just promoting the selling of bundles while the game doesn't work. Because look, I know Swag is gonna get all these bundles, right? And then he's gonna go play ranked, and then he's gonna get cheated on every other game, and then he's gonna say, yo, we gotta do something. But you just gave them all your money, and then next quarter, they're gonna talk about how, you know, they made $2 billion this quarter with the game. And it's just like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? And again, it's not hate. I get it. This is his job. He's marketing his channel for his viewers to grow his audience because this is a financial decision. I understand what he's doing. I'm not mad at him for that. But the optics are not good. The same way the optics of Call of Duty releasing this cash grab, telling people, hey, if you want this exclusive operator, you got to pay $10. Yeah, probably. He probably does. He probably does get them for free. Let's be honest. He probably does get them shits for free. But like, that's my point. It's like the optics of it look really, really, really bad. The optics of it just look bad. But like, I get it from both sides. I understand Activision. It's marketing. It's a business decision. Swag. This is his job. He has to promote his channel. He has to promote his content. I get it. I'm not mad at him for that because me going live right now, I'm doing the same thing. I'm promoting my channel. I want y'all to listen to me talk and just rant about bullshit. Like, I'm doing the same thing Swag's doing. I'm just doing it at a smaller scale. But it just looks bad when there's a cash grab associated behind it. That's all I'm saying. You know, this live right now, there's no cash grab behind this. I'm not going to tell y'all, yo, make sure y'all donate before y'all fucking end the live. Like, there's no cash grab associated here. Yeah, no, I know. I remember, I think it was last year, there was a tournament where they wanted everybody to use a specific operator, and Activision put the COD points in all their accounts. I remember that. And I know, I'm pretty sure Swag was one of them. They had a tournament, a private tournament with all these creators, but one of the stipulations was like everybody had to use the same operator. So they gave them the points so that everybody could buy it. So yeah, like they basically get the shit for free. But yeah, that's all I wanted to touch on was like the whole, do games need a BR? And like, I'm glad you guys came in here because we were able to go off on a tangent that actually matters, right? Because the casual experience, the game experience, the reward, the something more, the everybody needs the feeling of achieving something more. Like all of that stuff, all of that matters. Yeah, bro. The fact that they knew about it because they went to the event. They went to the event, but of course they can't talk about that shit because they all gotta sign NDAs. The same way that they're like, yo, you can't post any of your videos. You can't tell anybody you even went to an event. You can't tell anybody anything until we do the official marketing release. So they all knew, but again, it's business, right? You all sign contracts, you all sign NDAs. You can't say shit until it's go time. Because look, yesterday, as soon as Call of Duty dropped their shit, everybody dropped their videos. Yo, I was in New York and I was at this private event. Here's my video. But again, it's just business. I understand. It's just business. You know, get your money. They're getting their money. They're getting their free promotion. I get it. But it's just, it's scummy because of the state of the game. If the game was in a good state, I wouldn't care. I'll be honest with you. And y'all know me. Like, I'm all about the bundles and the operators. If the game was in a good state, I wouldn't care. I understand these are business decisions. So I'm not going to, that's the other thing too. Like, you guys get it. You know, you understand contracts and NDAs and all that stuff. You guys understand that. But it's just like, that's another thing I hate about a lot of this community is like, they think like children too much. It's a bunch of adults who think and act like children, but they want to be treated like adults. And it's just like, no, you need to start thinking like an adult to have adult conversations. So I understand Activision is a business. Activision is in the business of making money. To us, it's a video game. To them, it's money. But they also have an obligation of, you still need to provide a playable fucking product. Like, because we're paying for this shit. Like, your product, you guys earn enough. You're not a small company. You're not an indie company. Like, I could understand if you guys were a startup, but you guys are an established AAA organization worth billions of dollars, backed by an organization that is now worth over $1 trillion. So you guys more than have the funds and the resources and the means to deliver a functional product. So that's why everybody's mad. That's why everybody's leaving the game. That's why the BO6 numbers are down like 44%, because You guys gave us a game like you guys ran out of budget or something, which we know is not the case. You guys didn't run out of budget. You guys ran out of giving a fuck. That's the difference. Y'all ran out of giving a fuck about the game because y'all were so caught up into how much money can you make off the game. And that's why BO6 fucking sucks. Because after 4 years, the only thing they gave us was Omni movement. They broke the map. They broke audio. Cheating is out of control. The algorithm is worse than it's ever been. You know, you got a dude with a negative KD fighting a top 250 team. Everything's broken. And then you drop this Squid Game shit on us. It's like, it looks bad, all right? That's all I'm saying. It's very bad optics. It looks bad. And so, yeah. To end it there, every game needs a BR right now. I don't give a shit. If your game wants to survive, it needs a BR. And more than that, Call of Duty needs competition. Because if Call of Duty is not going to fix their game, then other games need to put their foot in the door and say, if y'all not going to do it, we're going to fucking do it. All right? I think that's the most important thing here to get out of this whole rant. If Call of Duty is not going to fix their game and deliver the experience that they promised to deliver, that they've been promising to deliver, then it is time for other companies in the FPS genre to put some skin in the game and say, we'll give you that experience if Call of Duty won't do it. Call of Duty only cares about their money. We want players. We want players' money too, but we're going to give you the experience that goes along with that price. Whatever we're going to make you pay, we're going to match the experience to that price. And so, yes, I wish X-Defiant had a BR. I wish other games had a BR. And I know Battlefield already addressed it. They are coming back with a BR. All right? So, that's it. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for listening to the rant. And that's all I got.